You're listening in on an animated discussion about Batman the Animated Series with two experts in their fields. I'm Joshua Unruh, superhero scholar.
And I'm Caleb Masters, your friendly neighborhood film critic extraordinaire from the cinematropolis.com. And today's episode is Season 2, Episode 13, or, if you're subscribing to the DC streaming service, DC Universe, Season 1, Episode 41, Joker's Wild. Up until this point, as you can listen to one of our more recent episodes, Batman and Harley Quinn, they have pulled Batman the Animated Series from Amazon because they have launched this DC streaming service. We finally have access to it so we can watch it. And wouldn't you know it, they changed up the episode numbers on us.
Yeah, I want to know how they get to the numbers that they get to and how they decided what order to put things in. But the bottom line for our purposes is, from here on out, we are going to give you the numbering that is used on the streaming service, because our suspicion is it's also how they're going to organize it on the Blu-ray release. And my suspicion is that once they release what is on the Blu-ray re-release as digital purchase, they'll use the Blu-ray and the streaming services numbering then also.
They'll go back and retroactively change the numbers.
That's what I think. What's available there now is going to go away in favor of the prettier stuff.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
But also, DC, make up your minds. The way it was broken up was on the volume DVDs, and then they changed it for the streaming service. I'm so confused. But you know what? It's okay.
It's fine. Just know, going forward, because you can't really get it any other way right now but the streaming service and the Blu-ray.
Unless you want to buy the whole stuff on wholesale on Amazon, which, why would you do it when you could pay $8 a month? Remastered.
We're going to give the numbers as they're using them now on the streaming service. And let's take just a second to talk about BTAS on the streaming service.
All right, Joshua. So this has been a highly anticipated thing. Since they announced at Comic-Con they were remastering this for the 25th anniversary, I was skeptical.
Yes.
We talked about how we were skeptical.
Yes.
Because they kept using the word remaster, which my natural instinct is, they're going to restore it. They're going to clean it up and make it better, which is what they did. But it was really unclear for a while if that's what they were actually going to do, or if they were just going to upscale the existing animation to 1080p. And that's a notable difference because that old animation has it's not clean. Like
it's just not.
It's deteriorated.
I mean, first of all, it's deteriorated like sort of physically by time.
Right.
But a thing that I opined as I was watching it on the streaming service is that it didn't look this good the day that it aired.
Oh, no.
Because no TV needed it to.
Right.
No tape could hold this good an image. No TV could play this good an image. So I'll say now, it looks beautiful.
Oh, incredible. Things that you never noticed before stick out. The blues and the grays have never looked more distinct. The
colors are really good.
The colors are immaculate. And I will say, I noticed the lighting more than I ever have before, because even when Batman just turns a little bit, that's when the shades of color on his cowl change.
Yeah. Which, for this show, how many times have we talked about the use of light and shadow in this show? And I'm seeing new levels of it. It's very impressive. So I would say, very tentatively, friends, that $8 a month might be worth it just for BTAS, at least for a while.
Until you can buy the Blu-rays.
Until you can buy the Blu-ray, or until something else on the service wows you enough to justify its existence.
Young Justice Season 3 is coming, Joshua. That's all I've got to say.
An inevitable animated discussion, because Young Justice is primo business.
It's good. And hopefully a new season of Teen Titans too, but we'll get there. But Joshua, let's get back to the topic at hand. Joker's Wild.
All right, let's really start at the top of the episode and discuss the title card, because a couple episodes ago we lamented that the title cards had taken a real downward turn.
Yeah, they just got lazy.
They weren't great. They didn't have much to do with the episode. We're back, baby. I mean, Joker's Wild is not the best of the next several, but we're back to a solid B, possibly B+.
Well, B+ level, guys.
Well, considering
we were down like in the D area.
We were very much in the D area.
We were like, you guys are phoning it in.
Reality is like, did anybody even stop to think about this? I mean, it's not great.
I think the last one that we talked about that I really liked was The Strange Secret of Bruce Wayne, sorry.
Yeah, and I think the last one I felt really strongly about was Harley and Ivy. Oof. That we talked about.
Yeah.
So, but we're back to it. And this neon Joker face, the Joker face picked out in sort of neon outline, suggests the gaudiness of a casino. So we're moving in that way. And the music is, I mean, I feel like I'm inventing this phrase just for a lot of the Joker episodes, title card music, but it's whimsically sinister.
Whimsically sinister, maniacal, another word, but like it reminds me of a casino. I just got back from Vegas, and guys, it sounds like a casino, maniacal, and it's sucking your soul out as you watch it.
Yeah, it's
but
an
it's fun.
Evil calliope.
It is, yeah, there you go, exactly. And I think it's great. It's neon signed of the Joker's face, which that reminds me of like movies like the Neon Demon. Big use of neon lights. I'm also watching a show called Maniac on Netflix right now. Really a lot of heavy use of neon lights. So I love the effect. I'm a sucker. So yeah, I'll give it a B+.
Yeah. It's, I've got B in my notes, but I could be convinced to go as high as B+. But again, this is such a huge uptick that I want to take note of it. And the next few episodes will follow suit.
Agreed. And here's the thing too. I want to know, you don't have to be crazy creative or over the top with these title cards to be successful. This is really actually pretty simple, but it's effective. The combo between the simple image, because it's so striking and powerful, comboed with a really good music cue, it makes the difference, and it just captures what the episode's all about.
Which is the point. If we're going to do them, do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Do that thing. All right, Joker's Wild. Highline, I really like the idea of this episode quite a lot.
Hey, Joshua, I really like the episode a lot.
So, listeners, you may realize I'm splitting that hair a little finer than Caleb is. I really do like the idea, though. Like, let's camp there for just a minute. I like it when people in stories start to get just genre savvy enough to get themselves in trouble.
Yes.
And so the idea that some crooked businessman would get in over his head and then engineer a situation where one of Batman's rogues would show up and wreck the place for insurance money is a good plot.
That's a great idea.
That is an A+ plot. And then it goes off the rails. A++ plot, because you can't manage this chaos.
Yes. But Joshua, I would argue that that's not the A plot of the episode.
Okay. Convince me.
That's the B plot of the episode. The A plot of this episode is the Joker. You're on along the ride with the Joker. This is all about his ego. And yes, we see the shady businessman who does that thing. He uses the Joker's likeness to cash in, knowing the Joker is going to come and blow the whole casino down so he can cash in on the insurance check. Great idea. And you're going to say, well, they kind of didn't execute it very well. And you're right. They don't really do a great job executing that idea. But my perspective is, at least my take from the get-go, is that this is all from the Joker's perspective. So I don't really feel like they needed to drum up the scheme that much. I feel like it's pretty simple.
No, I agree with that.
So Batman investigating the scheme is pretty short. It's super. They don't do a great job with the Batman piece.
I mean, it does exactly the bare minimum of what it needs to do to move things along.
Yeah, exactly. And that's all I think it really needed. Honestly, that's my take. I know you can disagree.
Okay, so here's my pushback there. We have seen episodes that are much more in the Joker's point of view, where Batman is largely perfunctory. I'm thinking of To Be a Clown as a really good example, where they still didn't hack out the rest of it quite to the level that this one gets hacked out. For instance, I know that you enjoyed the Joker's escape.
I thought it was a lot of fun.
Much like the broad idea of the episode, I thought that there was a really fun idea in there that did not actually sort of make it to the screen.
What, you didn't think The Rock working as an anchor was enough, Joshua?
Oh, let's start before that. I like bickering villains as much as the next guy. We just talked about and how amazing some of those character beats are, where we see Two-Face and Ivy bouncing off one another, or Joker demanding there be a clean game and then immediately cheating. I'm here for that stuff. I don't understand why we're here for it quite so long in this episode, because then we're going to have this really extended escape scene.
It's bookended. I think they wanted to have the escape scene, and I think it was actually kind of cool because you got to see what an average day on the inside of Gotham was. We don't need a whole episode to demonstrate the average day inside of Gotham. Or I guess maybe we do, but and I know we get more of that later. But I was like, oh, okay, cool. He's in Gotham. The Joker's just kind of a troll, being obnoxious. He's not even being his full Joker self. He's just being obnoxious. This is like his everyday being lazy version of himself. And then when he sees the TV, he's like, that's what sets him off, and his ego gets on fire. The banter with the poison ivy, not great, but I don't think every piece of banter you have is going to be like lightning because he's bored. He's like lazy, doesn't do much. And then the escape happens. I thought the escape was hysterical, by the way.
So
he hijacks, he uses a rock as an anchor tied to a bunch of handkerchiefs, and then he hijacks a truck from Super Mario. Come on.
Here's the high bird's eye view problem with the escape. Did you notice that a guard let him go?
Did a guard let him go?
Yes. He fakes a stomachache.
Yes.
The guard takes him into the infirmary.
Right.
And then when he comes out saying, "What a maroon," the guard is right there and says something like, "I know you are, but what am I?" Something, but quietly under his breath. That guard was purchased by the casino owner to let Joker out. Mm-hmm. Okay, I like that idea.
Cool idea, right?
But if we're going to do that, either speed up the rest of the process, show him unlocking a door. Because again, Joker just like walks out of an unlocked door.
I know, it's hilarious.
How did he know it was unlocked? It's so half-baked. I love the rope of handkerchiefs as manner of escape. I really like that. I don't even hate him sort of improvising the rock anchor. But we see a lot of razor wire on purpose. They drew it on purpose. And then they don't show him navigating the razor wire. Again, I don't need that, except that I'm like, this is really not how scarves and a rock work. This is not how any of this works. And you didn't skip physics in order to make it more entertaining. You skipped physics so you wouldn't have to deal with it. Which, by the way, comes up again later in the death trap.
Possibly. Maybe.
Oh, no, it definitely.
Oh, no, it comes... Okay, sorry. Yes, it comes up again in the death trap. Maybe they were lazy. I mean, if nothing else, I would agree that they were lazy on not paying attention to the animation, which, by the way, I have a note on that because the animation in this episode was a point of distress, so much so that Arkham production company was dropped after their following episode, Cat Scratch Fever.
Oh, also not a great episode.
Yeah. So apparently the producers were also not happy with animation and things like barbed wire. But hey, that does not excuse an error. And it does appear as laziness.
And even error is too far. The reason, I will say, the reason that I'm nitpicking the escape is because it takes so long.
It does take a lot of time.
And they have at least 2 or 3 opportunities to do something really interesting. And instead we get soapy water and a fake stomachache. Like there's opportunities for something actually funny or Joker-esque to happen. And instead it's just wacky, but not in a way that feels grounded in BTAS. It doesn't feel as grounded as the rest of the show.
But
it's fine.
I feel like the tone of the entire episode's kind of like that, though. So I was willing to go with it.
I should say, this is not like a bad episode. But one interesting thing, I remembered it being better than it is,
sure.
than I found it.
Sure.
And I think that's because the idea is so good. So whenever I think about the idea of Joker's Wild, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a heck of an episode. And then when you actually get into it, it's a little less so.
That's fair. The high expectations are there, and I can respect that. And also, I am not going to deny any of your critiques. I just think in this case, the things I like about it and my enjoyment I get out of it greatly supersede the nitpicks.
I'll also say this is BTAS we're talking about. So when I say I expect more, it's because they have led me to expect more.
Oh, sure.
That's true. We had that conversation with the title cards to a certain extent.
Yes.
Whereas like the only reason I'm expecting these to be good is because you guys have done a ton of good ones.
Right.
And so it stands out when something is a little lazy.
Or a little rushed.
And I would be very interested to see the storyboards that were sent to the production company who only got this and one more episode because they were so tired of them handing in less than great work, right? I'd like to see what the creators, what the producers expected to get back. I'd love to see that contrast because I wouldn't be surprised. These are people that know their business. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the weak link.
Yeah,
knowing the
side.
piece of trivia that you brought in.
Right,
yeah.
right. Well, and especially, and I don't know how animation works compared to more traditional television, or at least how it worked in the 90s. I don't know, but I know network television. I mean, up until very, very recently, it was all like you had the turnaround on them was so fast. Like you had 10 days to produce an episode, and it between the time it started shooting from the time it went on the air was not long. It's a lot different now because streaming services have kind of forced everyone, producers and networks and everybody to rethink how we think about television.
We don't have to do it the way we always did it.
Right.
But at this point, it wasn't because we'd always done it that way. It was the actual demands of the system.
Right.
And yes, I will say there's no way they got to redo anything. Whatever they got, they had to use.
Both because of time and budget,
Yep.
I would say. Because again, this show, I mean, while they and just overall BTAS, incredible production value for what they paid for it, I'm sure.
Definitely.
But I can't imagine there was a huge budget for it, just in general. Because animation was kind of the kids programming. They'll take
it was not the flagship that it's become. Okay, couple of things I really like, because now I'm going to swing out and see what you think about the stuff I like.
Okay.
And then you can tell me the things I definitely missed as I was shaking my head in sadness.
As long as you said the Joker Mobile as one of the things you liked were good.
Okay. Yes, I love the Joker Mobile.
Yes.
Now let me tell you why I love the Joker Mobile. This casino was ostensibly not made to be based on the arch criminal, the Joker.
Right.
But it's got a Joker Mobile in it.
Yes.
That runs. And where Joker knows where all the levers are. That means that was his Joker Mobile they had bought as memorabilia for this thing. Now, the best part of that is, canonically then, this Joker has had a Joker Mobile. We never saw it on an episode, but canonically, the BTAS Joker had a Joker Mobile, and I love it.
You know, it was one of those episodes they never made where Joker and Batman on a Tuesday were doing something and there was a Joker Mobile. Street racing, exactly. There's an entire episode we never saw.
Probably the episode where Joker had his own utility belt.
Oh, my goodness.
He was just, fine, if I can't beat him, I'll join him. But yeah, so definitely loved the Joker Mobile.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So what else you got for me, Joshua?
I loved Bruce Wayne trolling the real Joker.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's one of my notes, and I knew that you would like that because I know how much you love the secret identity shenanigans.
Yeah.
And this is one of the times I was right there with you. I was like, this is fantastic. Secret identity shenanigans again because he's Bruce Wayne. He knows that's the Joker.
Yeah,
and he totally takes a swing at his ego just over and over again, and then he wins.
He is in a position to cheat to win, to cheat the cheater.
Yes,
he is knowledgeable enough to recognize it's the real Joker, and also he's throwing him off his game as best he can because he knows he's going to have to come around and punch him some later. It's good.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
And it goes back to, I really like the version of Bruce Wayne that is able to have some fun because clearly he's having a good time.
Oh yeah,
making the Joker's life miserable.
Yeah. Playboy Bruce Wayne rather, always fun. And Playboy not necessarily like in the, hey, I've got 3 supermodels on each arm. The Playboy that's just like,
that's right. We already ditched our date from the beginning of the episode.
Exactly. Which, by the way, again, clever. I love the reveal of Joker's Wild was hysterical just across the board because everyone was like, ugh.
Oh, Summer Gleason going off script while still on camera, like so horrified.
That was so funny.
Yeah, and the deadpan but still Bruce Wayne voice. No comment. So good because again, the guy's just genre savvy enough to know that he's doing something to annoy the Joker, and he's going to turn off a bunch of Gothamites who have been poisoned or laughing gassed or robbed or whatever. Yeah, that was good stuff.
I agree with that. That was probably my favorite point of the episode. I also thing I loved, and I know the animation might be aside, I loved the set piece where Batman's tied to the giant roulette wheel, and then the Joker throws a grenade in as the little ball. Oh my gosh, that was so great.
Is wonderful.
Yes.
A+ Death Trap, especially it's on theme. It's also makeshift because Joker wasn't planning for that eventuality, but he uses what's there.
And just happens to be a casino, so there happens to be a giant roulette available.
And of course he has a grenade in his pocket because he's the Joker.
Joker, yeah.
Believe it or not, even after the Joker's incredibly lazy escape, Batman's escape from the death trap is even lazier.
I'll give you that. The Batman erection grapple gun is definitely not the best use of escape.
Listen, I was just going to say he must have been storing it in his pancreas. I don't know that we need to go quite that far, especially after the Black Label debacle this week of dealing with Batman's junk.
But Joshua, I knew that was a pressure point, so I had to throw it in there.
Well, it's a pressure point for Bruce Wayne too. Hey-o. So yeah, I really like the roulette wheel. I really like the this'll do nature of the grenade. The escape is
it was pretty lazy.
Also, I believe I will go on record now as saying I've hit my grapple gun limit.
Yeah.
He's got other tools. Let's see some of them. When it's not literally ziplining him out of a scene, I'm pretty much over the grapple gun.
But let's be real. You've played the Batman Arkham games. How often did you get out of it with a grapple gun?
Lots.
Yeah.
But I never shot it at a grenade while being spun at 70 bajillion RPMs after storing it in my pancreas.
Ooh, pancreas gun.
Just saying.
Yeah, I know it looks weird. And I know that was actually, I'm glad you mentioned that because, again, going back to the animation, I know that piece specifically received criticism from the producers. So that's a legit criticism because it's a flaw. Like the poor animation led to a botched execution on his escape because then it comes across as especially lazy. So maybe imagine Escape just animated much differently. Maybe we could buy it. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's lazy writing.
If I was going to say something about this episode, it would be that a lot of high level stuff is really smart and then just gets executed less than great.
Yeah.
Right? That's it.
And again, regardless of what the intention was, the fact of the matter is it came out looking very lazy. I also want to mention, going back to my argument that this whole thing is from the Joker's perspective, and there's a lot of swings at his ego, but my favorite was whenever Batman tells him what's about to go, what the whole, he tells him about the con, and he says, "Oh, wait, really? Well, forget this. I'm not going to blow this hotel up anymore. In fact, I might run it. I'm going to kill the guy who built this place."
I really liked that bit. That was a really good character moment. I mean, the Joker chooses a certain level of irrationality, and even the line of "I hate it when you make sense."
That was bizarre. Point. That was bizarre and hilarious.
Well, I mean, we've talked a little bit before about how they suggest a lot of relationship between this Batman and this Joker without going into great detail of it. They know each other.
Oh yeah,
right. And that was a good moment of that, where it's like, okay, so at some other point, rational conversation has happened between these two.
Exactly.
Enough for Joker to know, I don't like it. I don't like it when I have to agree with you.
I know you're right. Oh, man. Less fun for me today.
But it didn't slow him down much.
Nope.
I'm just going to go kill that casino owner. It's cool.
Oh, cool. I think overall, the escape, all of that stuff worked for me so much more than the botched execution. But I won't deny. If I was going to recommend the episode, I'd give it a B.
Yeah, I mean, okay, if I've got to do a letter grade, we've certainly seen much less good episodes or skipped them, to be honest. So I'm probably going to go B- because the idea is so good that I want more. But yeah, I'll live in the B- area.
B- area. I mean, I just think because for me, I just had so much fun with it, and
sure,
I get it. It's one of those things like just the little things. Batman strapped to the roulette wheel, for example.
Yeah,
that's such a zany visual image and gag, and it just feels like the best parts of the cartoony side of the show.
Yeah, definitely.
And same with the Joker's escape, even though it was bonkers. And also, again, I'll throw it out there. There was a great little Super Mario nod in there. The truck driver totally was in a Super Mario costume, but
another Nintendo nod.
I'm sure, because again, this is back when Super Nintendo was the hot thing. So I'm sure that Paul Dini and or Bruce Timm both played Super Mario Brothers. Or
probably when they were supposed to be working on the show.
Ooh. Well, Joshua, with some alternate media recommendations, I have to hear. What do you think? You have anything you'd throw at the listener today?
Yeah, I'm way on the nose with this. Ocean's 11.
Oh, hey, that was also one of mine. From Steven Wait, which one?
Oh, definitely the remake.
Okay, good. Yes, the remake is vastly superior to the original film.
Well, everybody showed up sober and did more than one take.
Exactly.
So, yeah. But yeah, so it's on the nose for sure, but it's obviously set in a casino. It's obviously about undermining the ego of a casino owner. Danny Ocean is in the Joker's shoes for the purposes of that movie. Only we're allowed to root for him because he's not also a maniacal murder clown. Yeah.
Well, I also love the idea that he wants to make them believe he blew up the money.
Right. Yes.
Like it's a con. I mean, spoilers for the movie, I guess. But like the heist elements there are so strong, and it feels like also in the same way the casino owner in this one was conning the world. And the Joker, Danny Ocean, is conning the casino owner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just using levels and levels of conning to get the heist done. It's a really fun movie. I recommend it anyway, and it's a little on the nose for this one, but I'll take it.
I'm just going to throw out there, too. The same director, Steven Soderbergh, had another film that came out last year called, and it's another heist movie. It is not heisting a casino, which I know is the tie here, but I just got to throw out there, Logan Lucky. Please, if you like the Ocean's movies, you got to watch that one. Not really related. I just have to throw it out there because I think more people should see it. It's fantastic.
Now, what about your picks that I didn't steal from you?
So I've got two. First and foremost, because anytime I can talk about the show on a podcast, because I never got to podcast about it, The Leftovers, specifically The Leftovers Season 2, Episode 8, International Assassin. It takes place in a hotel, or does it? Is it a hotel, or is it heaven, or is it hell? We don't know. It does a very David Lynchian thing where you go into a space and you're like, is this real? What is this place? Because clearly it's not actually a hotel. It's lots of fun. Anyway, throwing it out there. I've been watching another show, Maniac with Justin Theroux, so it's on the brain. And then also the Grand Budapest Hotel, which is a recent-ish film from director Wes Anderson. Kind of shows the ins and outs of a hotel and also destruction at a hotel. And it's just a great movie. I love it. I want more people to see it.
Much less on the nose, but a very interesting suggestion just based on the idea of ins and outs of running a hotel. Good pull.
Thank you.
Well, that about wraps up this animated discussion. Caleb, where can people go to continue the conversation with you?
Well, Joshua, you can always find me on Twitter talking about film, television, video games, and all sorts of other pop culture goodness at C Masters Talk. That's letter C Masters Talk. I'm also the editor-in-chief and film critic at the Cinematropolis, and we publish these in-depth essays on all types of different films, oftentimes including science fiction and superhero films, all the stuff you'd want to read about. And you can find all of these articles at thecinematropolis.com. Joshua, what about you?
I'm also most active on Twitter, where you can find me easily enough at Joshua Unruh. And remember that an animated discussion is a Pulp Diction Productions program and is 100% supported by listeners like you. To find out how you can keep this and our other shows in production, check out patreon.com/pulpdictionproductions. Things are going to get even darker, not quite in a Zack Snyder way, when we discuss Season 1, Episode 49, I Am the Night. Until next time, we'll see you back here. Same bat time, same bat channel.